All right, here we are for part 3 of Miracles Kept Secret. In this video, I'm going to introduce 3 additional participants to my research. As I spoke before, that my research required that my participants have corporeal apparitions, meaning that when they see the apparition, it's so real that they're human, like they can actually touch them. And I'm going to be starting out today with Angel. Angel was 43 years of age when she was part of my research, and she was 7 years old when she had her apparitional experience. Her culture, Indigenous American and non-Indigenous American, and that's because she was a Native American, but she was adopted by a Jewish family. Her current practice religiously is none. She wrote about her experience. I discovered at night I had a visitor. He would sit on the other twin bed in my room and tell me how I was never alone, and that no matter what, he'd always be there. All I had to do was call. So every night for over a month, we would talk. My parents would come in and ask who I was talking to. I'd tell them the man on the bed, but they never saw anything and would tell me to go to sleep. They would leave and I would talk to him, laying down, having gone from the half upright position to prone. My parents finally quit asking who I was talking to and leave me alone. In time, I came to think of my visitor as Jesus due to some books I was given containing Bible stories. Nowadays, I call him the Great Rabbi. I asked if she had told anybody about her experience, but again, she's already said that she told her parents, and overall, they thought she was strange. I was completely taken by Angel's artwork. This was so incredible. Again, I told them you can use a crayon to pick a color that represents your experience and just scratch it on the paper, take a picture of it and send it to me. And none of them did that, as I mentioned before. And this blew my mind. Not only did she do the beadwork to represent herself, she also made the plate, handmade the plate that she attached the beadwork to. I mean, just really quite incredible. Yeah, I was in awe, absolutely in awe. And as you can see, a great deal of work went into this. And that's, I guess it's how serious they took this research, or to really represent their experience. Truly amazing, so above and beyond what I asked for, and something that they could keep and cherish. It's amazing. My next participant was Sharon. She was 43 years of age when she took part in the research, and she was 6 years of age when she had her experience. She was raised Irish American. Her religion during her upbringing was Catholic, and her current religion, or at the time that we did the research, she belonged to Unity Church. She described her religious apparition as, I was 7 years old, and the nun was teaching us about Noah's Ark. I remember becoming very upset thinking about a God that was punitive and scary. It was against everything Jesus, Mary, and the angels told me nightly. I saw them enter the classroom, Jesus and Mary. I saw them enter the classroom and stand by the nun. Jesus was smiling and radiating so much love. I told him what was going on, and he told me, she has those in parentheses, or quotation marks, pardon me. And so she said, I told him what was going on, and he told me to tell the nun that the Bible's account of Noah's Ark story wasn't accurate. I was very shy and told him I didn't want to upset the nun. Then before I knew what was happening, I was raising my hand and telling the nun what Jesus said. I assumed that the nun saw Jesus and Mary standing next to her. I quickly found out she didn't see or feel them. So yeah, this is such an incredible story, because it's not uncommon to think that everybody else sees what you're seeing. So it's very interesting with this. And I asked, well, obviously she disclosed because she said, when I told the nun what Jesus and Mary said, she wasn't too happy. She started yelling about, "Are you saying you know more about this Bible?" Holding up the Bible. "I only talked to my sisters after that." My next participant was Sister Mary of the Soul. She was 57 years old when she took part in the study, and she was 7 years of age when she had her apparitional encounter. Her culture was non-Indigenous American, and she was raised Catholic, and at the time of the research, she had no religion. She wrote about her experience. "When the other children would go out to play at recess, I would go to the church and kneel in front of the statue of Mary and talk with her. One day, while kneeling in front of the statue came to life. It was very quiet in the church. It was lunchtime and most of the children were eating or playing outside. So I had this alone time to myself and with my beloved Mary. Telepathically, Mary told me that I was dedicated to her and that I had left her side on the other side of the veil to come to earth to bring her love and compassion to the earth. She told me that she would always be with me, would stay at my side and remain within my heart so that I would not be alone. The feeling was one of union with that which was so much more familiar to me than the life I lived day to day. I felt like I was home." I asked if she disclosed. "I told my mother, who thought it was my imagination. She did not believe in the visions I was having, so I stopped talking about them. And by the time I was 12, I requested that I enter the cloister." And she did get to the point before taking her vow. She was a novice starting at 12 years old. And she decided that it wasn't the right place for her. So she was right on the precipice of becoming a nun. And that's why I chose her pseudonym of Sister Mary of the Soul. I will keep this one short because next week I'm going to be presenting experiences that involved light and significant light, and the participants describe it in their when they wrote their spiritual autobiographies for me.